Hello, students. Today, we're going to explore a very important topic from your chemistry syllabus: acids, bases, and salts. These substances are everywhere in our daily lives, and understanding them is fundamental to chemistry. So, let's begin.
So, let's start with a simple question to get us thinking. We know that acids and bases are, in a way, chemical opposites. But what happens when they actually meet? What is the reaction when you mix an acid and a base together?
In this lesson, we will follow a very clear plan to build our understanding step by step. First, we will revisit acids and bases. Then, we will learn about the neutralization reaction. After that, we will talk about a very common salt, understand the pH scale, and finally, we'll go over the key takeaways for your revision.
First, let's quickly recall what we already know about acids and bases from our previous classes. It's always good to refresh our memory on the basics before we move on to new concepts.
Remember these fundamental properties, as they are the key to identifying acids and bases. Acids, as you know, are sour in taste, like lemon juice, and they have the property of turning blue litmus paper to red. Bases, on the other hand, are bitter in taste and turn red litmus paper to blue. These are very important points to remember.
Now, let's dive into the main reaction of this chapter. What happens when we mix an acid and a base? This is a very specific type of chemical reaction.
This is a very important definition for your exams. The process is called a neutralization reaction. Why neutralization? Because the acid and the base nullify or cancel out each other's effects. Please make a note of this definition.
You can see on this slide the general formula for this reaction. It's quite simple. A base plus an acid reacts to give you two products, a salt and water. This is the standard outcome for any neutralization reaction.
Let's break this down with a specific example. For our base, we'll take sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH, and for our acid, we'll use hydrochloric acid, HCl. When they react, they nullify each other's effects. And what are the products? We get sodium chloride, NaCl, and of course, water, H2O.
Now, please pay close attention to this balanced chemical equation. It perfectly illustrates the reaction we just discussed. NaOH plus HCl gives us NaCl plus H2O. You will also see these small symbols here. AQ means aqueous, that is, dissolved in water, and L means it is in a liquid state.
Now, the salt we just created in our example, sodium chloride, is something you use every single day. I am sure you have it in your kitchen right now.
That's right. The chemical name for the common table salt we use in our food is sodium chloride, NaCl. So the crucial point to understand is that this everyday substance is the product of a reaction between a strong acid and a strong base.
But how do we measure if a solution is acidic or basic or neutral, like the salt solution we just formed? How can we tell how strong an acid or a base is? For this, we need a proper scale.
We use something called the pH scale. It's a scale for measuring the concentration of hydrogen ions. And an interesting fact for you, the P in pH stands for potens, which is a German word for power. So it's measuring the power of hydrogen.
This slide brilliantly illustrates the pH scale. As you can see, it goes from 0 to 14. Anything below 7 is acidic, which means it has a higher concentration of H+ ions. Anything above 7 is basic or alkaline, with a higher concentration of OH- ions. And what is at 7? Exactly 7 is neutral.
This table gives you a very clear summary. It's very useful for your revision. A pH value less than 7 means the solution is acidic. A value equal to 7 is neutral, and a value greater than 7 means the solution is basic or alkaline. Please remember this.
Now, let us summarize the most important points from today's lesson. This will help you a lot with your revision for your exams.
Make sure you have noted these 4 key points, as they form the foundation of this chapter. First, an acid and a base cancel each other's effect in a neutralization reaction. Second, the products are always a salt and water. Third, common salt, or sodium chloride, is formed from sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. And fourth, the pH scale measures acidity and basicity, with 7 being the neutral point.
To end, here is a question to think about for our next class. We know that baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is also a salt. So can you apply what you have learned today to figure out which acid and which base react to form it? Think about it, and we will discuss the answer in our next session. Thank you, everyone.